podcast. Today is Monday, December the 8th, I believe, and this is episode 10. I am your hostess, Misty Doughton, and my partner in crime, Tara, is missing today. She had a teaching engagement, and we were supposed to reschedule to Wednesday. However, she had a death in the family. It was her grandfather, and she wasn't really close to him. She said he lived in Vermont, and she didn't have the opportunity to know him very well, but her dad was very close to him. So remember that family in prayer this week when they're having the funeral later on this week. So she's going to be traveling for that. So say a prayer for Tara's safety and the family that's mourning them. That's always hard any time of the year, but especially right here at the holidays. So but anyway, I'm used to saying we for me and Tara, but I have a lot to share with you. I have been knitting like a crazy person because I've decided that I will do some gift knitting after all. And so it's probably good Tara's not here because she would be like, you're still pulling stuff out while I'm working on my one sweater. So yeah, she would be bored with me before I was done. So it's probably good that I'm by myself today. So let's talk about adventures and stashing first, since that's first on my little show notes list. I didn't have these with me last week, but I had ordered some needles from Noble Knits. I really like them because they have free shipping, and I hate to pay shipping. I hate to charge shipping. I hate to pay shipping. Shipping is evil, but they had free shipping. So I got a set of Chai-Goo double points. They are size 1 to 0.25 millimeter, and they are 6 inches. And I have knit with them. I do like them. I don't feel like that. I think they're good. There's nothing that I can say that's like, oh, these are so spectacular. Wow. They're just good needles. They're slick. But not too slick. They've got good pointy tips. I liked them. I don't have a lot of 1 double points. I have a size 1 in the collage squares, but they are deathly pointy, so I don't know what's up with that, but it was like, you know, an effort not to split your yarn, and they didn't glide well against each other, so that was an adjustment for me because I'm used to having one needle tip kind of glide against the other needle. But yeah, I liked them. That's all I can really say about them. I also got a 9-inch circular, and it is on a sock right now. But this is the little 9-inch circular. Here you can kind of see the tips. There's the actual shaft of the needle is tiny. That's where the cable starts. I mean, this is like insane, and I'm still getting used to them. They kind of make my hands want to cramp up a little bit just from the way I'm holding them. I'm trying to make myself relax a little more with them, but I do like them because I feel like that, you know, just shifting the yarn around, it does make it faster, and just to keep knitting and not have to change over needles. I mean, using double points and changing needles isn't that big a deal. I feel like, especially since I have started knitting continental more, but I don't know. I've got in my mind that they're going to be faster, so I'm trying to get used to them even more. And my gauge looks pretty good with them. I don't know if you can really tell, but my stitches look pretty even with them. So yeah, I'm giving them a shot some more. And while I have this out, this is the Bootstrap Sock from Sock Architecture by Laura Neal. And we reviewed that book last time. Had lots of good stuff to say about it, and hope we did it justice. I really do like the book. I do plan on knitting another pattern out of there. I'm going to make my husband some socks, so I may check out. Although I'm nervous about knitting men's socks because I have a hard enough time. I had a hard enough time getting mine to fit. This one, I do have a finished sock. Oh, this one does fit well. I'm very pleased with it. The last pair of socks I knit, I got that yarn that you get from Patent Corey, and I don't know if it was the yarn just wasn't giving enough because I used the same stitch count, but I did use the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and they were too tight across the top of my foot where you're you know, right here across the top of your foot. So I don't know if it just needed to be deeper or what, but this is, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but this is the heel that came with the pattern on the bootstrap pattern, and it's a very neat little heel. Sorry, my dogs are barking. It's a very neat little heel, and it fits well. I didn't have any problems with tightness this time. I used the same needle size and the same stitch count as I did previously. I just felt like I needed a deeper heel. And I didn't do any adjustments to this heel. I just kind of did it and hoped for the best, and it's fine. So, so yeah, here is my finished sock. I am super happy with how this yarn came out. I dyed this yarn. I called it Making Faces, and I loved how it spiraled up. And the second one is well on its way to doing the exact same thing. So this makes me super happy. I love them. I can't wait to have a pair of hand knit socks to wear, because I got some lollipop yarn last year, and I hadn't knit socks, and I only knit 2 pair of socks before that, and I hadn't knit them in like forever, and so I knit them too big, and I wear them around the house. I still love them. The yarn's amazing, but I'm sad that I can't wear them with my shoes. Even my Birkenstocks, they still feel too loose, and so so yeah, I wear them around the house a lot. They're my go-to house socks, and but yeah, I want some to wear with my shoes. I want to be able to sit down and have my funky socks peeking out of my dance goes, because yeah, I've got bad feet and have to wear nursing shoes, or not necessarily nursing shoes, but I have to wear the more orthopedic shoes than the pretty shoes, so that's okay. So that's one thing that I have been trying to work on. I have on the needles, and I'd like to get done soon, but there's just so much to do, so little time. So the next thing that I was doing adventures in stashing. We went to visit my mother-in-law, and she lives right down from A Likely Yarn in Abingdon, and I was kind of disappointed that they didn't have any kind of Small Business Saturday specials, but they didn't. So sorry. My dogs are the neighborhood watchdogs, and so they look out the window in my kids' rooms to see if there's anything to bark at, and then run outside to bark at it. So I think they're almost done. So anyway, they didn't have any Small Business Saturday specials, but I could not resist this. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is Malabrigo. They have a couple different colors that I was loving. I was very indecisive. I carried a couple around the store for a little bit. This is a single. It is called Mecca, and it is 130 yards, 100 grams. So this is probably a Aran to bulky weight, I'd say. And it is the Lotus colorway. And there's the little tag that says Lotus. But yeah, it was so pretty, and it's soft, and I love it. And I think I want to make a pair of mints out of this. But I'm bad to buy myself things around Christmas time and feel guilty about it. So then I say, oh, look, honey, look what you got me for Christmas. You're awesome. So yeah, I've stuck this under the tree along with a couple other things that I will save to share after Christmas. We'll do it after Christmas. What'd you get? Kind of special. And I'll save those to share then. But I hope you guys like I've set up in my living room this time in front of the tree. I thought I'd be a little festive. So change of scenery a bit. Let's see, I'm also working on, I started another gift knit, but I kind of like it a little too much, so I may keep it. Oh, I should have put those little needle grabbers on here. I'm about to lose stitches. Eek. Okay, good, I didn't. This is the Duotone Cowl by Orange Flower Yarn, and I only have a little bit started on it. And what you do is you do a bigger row of one color and a smaller stripe of the other color up half of it. Then you switch it out and you do a smaller stripe of that big color on the other side and a larger stripe of the smaller color on the other side, and it kind of switches it up and makes for a neat little pattern. You knit it in the round and then join the loop. I hope I'm not giving too much away. I think this was a free pattern. I can't swear that. I should have made notes on that, but this yarn is absolutely amazing. I got it at Saf. I cannot tell you which vendor I got it from, but it is alpaca with a twist, and it's baby twist, and it's 100% alpaca. These are 50 gram balls at 110 yards, and I got them for like a steal, maybe like $4 or something a ball. And I got 2 of this burgundy purple color and 2 of this charcoal gray color. And hopefully that it's a DK weight, and it looks like that I'll have just enough yardage for what the pattern recommends. And you can make it more or less. I'm knitting these on a size 7. The pattern calls for, you know, bigger needles than you normally knit, so you'd have a nice drape to it. And I think the 7s are going to do good. You can still see it's pretty a loose one, but I like it. And it's super soft, so this is really going to be a treat to knit on. It's going to be, you know, the take with you conversation knitting, because it's just knitting, 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 but it's so soft, you won't mind it. So I'm very attracted right now to those super soft yarns, but unfortunately they're usually kind of pricey. Okay, and the last thing that I'm actively working on, because we all know there's more on the needles than just this, is my blue sand cardigan. And yay, super yay, I just got finished with the hem that I thought would take forever because it was hurting my hands, and I could only do about 4 or 5 rows before I needed to put it up. So here is the lovely hem stitch pattern. I love it. I love the pattern of it. I mean, it wasn't a hard knit, so it wasn't bad to knit on. It's just ended up kind of hurting my hands. So here, the body of the cardigan is finished all the way down to the hem. And I started last night and finished a pocket interior. It's gonna have little stripy pockets. So you just knit this in a little patch and leave it on waste yarn. I think it has an I-cord hem to bind off to everything, and so we'll join it down there. But isn't that cute? I love the stripy pockets. Those are adorable. So yeah, I'm starting on the next pocket. I still have the sleeves and the neckline to go. I wanted it done by Christmas because, you know, you could call this frozen and, you know, I could get away with that at Christmas. So I really wanted this done at Christmas, but I'm doing so much other knitting that I just don't know if it's going to happen unless I just buckle down and focus on it. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I pretty much have my gift knitting done, but I wanted to knit some for Nikisha, my friend Nikisha, for the shop in Jonesboro, and list a few things there. And I'm kind of a moody knitter. I don't know, is everybody like that? Do you like make yourself do stuff, or do you just go with whatever you feel like? I don't know. I go with what I feel like, and I'm in the mood to knit some stuff up, use some stash, and I'm just kind of going with it. And as long as I feel like doing it, I did that earlier this year and made those adorable little sheep, and then all of a sudden I was done, and I've got parts of 2 different ones started in my stash downstairs hibernating, so we'll see. Eventually I'll do those again. They were adorable, but right now this is what I'm working on. So let me go on to finished objects. I have a bunch. So this one I started and loved and decided that it would not be a gift after all. This is yarn that I had dyed. I'd put it in the shop. It hadn't sold. And so I decided I wanted to knit with it. and I absolutely love it. This is the Quaker yarn stretcher. I knit this on 10.5 because I didn't have a 10, and it's great. I know I've probably mentioned this before, but I don't like a complete garter stitch item. I don't mind garter stitch at all. I like it, but I don't want the entire thing to be out of garter stitch. I just think that stockinette stitch makes the yarn look so pretty. I just love it. And so I love that this has a good mix of both. Thankfully, I don't mind purling too bad to get what I want. So there you go. This actually, as you can see from fingertip to fingertip, it turned out pretty big. And this is just one skein of my worsted weight. I call it the Cecil base, but after my great-grandfather. And so, yep, love it, love it. Gonna keep it. Sorry, friends. This year I'm only knitting for my really close friends. I only have 3. And I'll probably do food gifts for some of my other friends, but I only have 3 close ones. And then, plus Tara. Tara, I'm doing something else for her because I don't think she would. It's not that she wouldn't appreciate me knitting for her, but I think I'm going to die for her, and I think she'd rather have that. So I like making people happy. I like to know what they want and not just try and come up with random things, which is why I have knit a big bag full of stuff. And I took it to church yesterday, and I only ended up seeing one person that I was going to give to, and I was like, look, it's pick your gift day. And so I told her I had to take everything home so I could show on the podcast because, you know, I gotta have stuff to talk about. And but she picked out the one that she liked the best, my friend Jenny. And I have 2 other friends I'm gonna do the same for because I just couldn't decide, you know, I want you to have this. You know, I just didn't have that feel with anything. I had a suspicion as to who would like what, but I'm not really surprised that Jenny picked the one she did. It's really cute. This is what she got. And it is just garter. It's stockinette stitch. The yarn, I really don't know. I don't remember who the yarn is by. I do know I got it from the local yarn shop. Who knows when ago. I finished this like last year and didn't do anything with it. It needed to be blocked, so I blocked it this week. I made a pretty good sized buttonhole, and I'm gonna just one, and I made it not quite halfway down, maybe 1/3 of the way down. I did that on purpose, and I think I did that on purpose. Let's say I did that on purpose anyway, even if I didn't. So it'll be really cute. You'll be able to, you know, kind of just wear it like this with the button, a little slouchy. I think it'll be adorable. I know the ends will curl. I knew it when I knit it, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. It'll be a design feature, we'll say. But I like the yarn. It's thick and thin. Has that hand spun look. One day my hand spun will look that good on purpose. But until then, you know, you can always buy it. So I called it the Neapolitan cowl simply because it color changed. I like the color changed. But there's not a pattern for it. I cast on a knit. I don't remember how many I cast on or what needle I used or anything like that. Sorry, no details today on that. The next one is out of my super messy hand spun. This is the Swirling Cowl by, I have no idea how to pronounce that first name. It's S-I-G-N-E, Signe Marie Richter. And all of these will be linked in our show notes. So I'm still a new spinner, and I don't know when I spun this. It was probably, I think it's this year. It might have been this year. I wish I'd have spun it more fine because this was really nice fiber. This was from Ashford. I went to a spin group, and she was selling some. She had some there, and I bought this. I love the color. It's super soft. I think there's some silk in it. And I must have started at least 3 different patterns and ripped them all out because where this is just so bulky and thick and thin. Nothing looked good with it. And so I finally found this. I thought it looked decent. You could kind of tell what the pattern was trying to do. And I got messy hair today. I don't want to make it worse, so I'm not going to pull over my head. But I think it'll be cute, you know. A little artistic, but cute. So that's one of them that I made. This one, this is also messy hand spun with some store-bought yarn. I don't know who the red is by. It was a leftover project that my mom decided to quit knitting once she got married. And she handed me all of her stash, and this was a half-finished object that I don't plan on finishing, so I used this yarn here. The black and white was purchased at a little, I think I talked about it in one of our other episodes. We had a little retreat weekend in Jonesboro and with the Naughty Ladies, and one lady had, she was an elderly, it was someone knew, and she was elderly and wasn't able to knit or spin anymore and wanted her stash to go to someone who would appreciate it. And so they were selling things there for super cheap. If she had a price on it, that was what she had paid for it, and she just wanted it that much out of it. And some things that didn't have a price, she allowed the lady who was running the thing to price it. And so this is, I just made up a little bulky loose cowl. This pattern, there is a pattern for this. I'll have to look it up. I didn't have it. I forgot about this one, so I didn't have it written down. But the content of this was just wool and silk noil, and it wanted to spin bulky. It did not want to spin thinner without some effort, so I just kind of went with it and did it bulky. I like this. At first I was like, I kept looking at it, I'm like, I don't know, but I do like it. The only thing I don't like about it is it kind of smells a little funny. Erica was over, my friend Erica was over last night, and she said it smells like new smell, but I don't know, I think it just smells not musty like moldy, but like, I don't know, it just smells odd. And I even, when I blocked it, I put a couple of drops of lavender essential oil in it, hoping to kind of knock that smell out. But it didn't work. I don't know. I mean, somebody else, they may not notice it, or it may not bother them enough to, you know, give it. I didn't like it. So, but this is not something that I would like for myself anyway. But I do like it enough to where I would not mind to offer it as a gift. I mean, so somebody may like it, and if not, I'll put it up for sale. But you know how it is. It's somebody, it'll be somebody's cup of tea. So the next one is the Miyuki cowl, M-I-Y-U-K-I, by Cynthia Spencer. And this is also out of my yarn. It's this beautiful purpley that's coming across lighter here. That's probably more close to it. It's just a really pretty deep purple, and I knew when I did this that this pattern would come across better with a lighter yarn, but I really struggled finding a pattern that I liked for this yarn, and this is what I settled on, and I just kind of went with it. So I still think it's pretty. I think if you wore a lighter color top with it, you know, that the pattern will come across, and if nothing else, the edge is scallopy. So that'll be pretty. So yeah, this one will fit closer to her neck, but I don't think it'll be tight at all. It's nice and loose. I had quite a bit of this left over, and I used it for other things that I may have to go and get. I think I forgot. Next, this one was pretty cool. So this was also out of some of my yarn, but I over-dyed it. And I have pictures of before and after that I posted on Instagram, I think, and I'll try and put them on the project page too. It was a light pink and black, and for some reason it was just really bugging me. I just didn't like it, but I didn't want to quit knitting it or not knit with the yarn, so I just kept going. And this is Yellow Brick Road. I really like the pattern. I thought it would be more of a pickle to work with, but it's not. I did mess up and have to rip back it twice, I think, just because I wasn't paying close enough attention. So you do have to kind of watch. And like I said, this was a light pink and black. This is probably closest to the actual color that it is. I put it back. I finished knitting it up. I put it back in the dye pot, and I added 2 different colors to it. And I just kept, adding stuff until I decided that I liked it. A little bit of black, and I love it now. It's very pretty. It's one of my favorites. I definitely think one of my friends will probably pick this one. It has a row of buttonholes, and I'm planning on getting some black buttons to go with it. And on the project page, it's really neat because they have several ways that you can wear it. You can wear it, halfway buttoned up and a few unbuttoned and kind of flipped over, or twist it and button it up, or button it kind of wrong on purpose. And they had very cute little ways to style it. So I may print that little page out and give it when I gift it. So I like that one a lot. It makes for a nice gift, and I was happy with how the yarn ended up. So that was nice to be able to save that. And the yarn, it wasn't bad. I mean, there were several people said, oh, I like that color, but for some reason it just didn't jive with me. So that's looked too Pepto pink for me. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for finished objects. Oh no, I have one more, a little bunting flag that I made with that leftover purple, and I also have another work in progress. I'm going to go get those and be right back. Okay, I'm back. This one is the little bunting flag I did. I've left the tails long. I don't know if I'll kind of link these together. I don't know if I will put a little pom-pom or tassel or something on the tails. It would probably be good to decide now before I lose the yarn that I did these with. Because yeah, it's something I would totally do. But this one was sock yarn. I held double. And this one's the worsted one. And there's a bit of a difference in size. And I want to do the next sock yarn I have. I want to do just held single and, make some different sizes. I thought that would be cute. So I'm only going to do these out of my yarn. I figure one day I'll have a booth, and this will be a nice little setup for my booth. And even if I don't do these colorways again, and you can kind of see what they are. I'll probably need to, I've seen people do these and have little tags hanging from them. Maybe I'll just do that, have the tags hanging from the bottom. Who knows, but I think they're cute. I like them. I'm going to hang them up in my craft room for now, just as a little decoration, and one day I'll hang them up in a booth. So that's what I used some of that leftover purple. I call this Plum Crazy. I like the color, and I'm not even a purple fan, but it's a nice, deep, rich, variegated, tonal color. It's really a pretty, it came out pretty. The next and last thing I have working on is a 10-stitch blanket. And Dawn, Knitting Wolf, had showed these, and I didn't think I would ever want to knit a blanket, but I like the idea of having stuff out of my yarn, and maybe it's because I'm amazed that I can dye yarn. I just think it's still, I'm still new. I think it's so cool, and so maybe it's just that. I don't know, but I used some leftover Wild Thing that I made that Quaker yarn shawl. I just had barely enough to do that. And then I had quite a bit of the purple, so I did a purple all the way around. And it looks like the log cabin right now, but it's not. It has the mitered corners. And so, yeah, I won't do it like that all the way. I'm just using leftover yarn. I'm only going to use the worsted, and right now I've not dyed any more worsted, so it might be a while before I add to this. Well, I take that back. I do have one little bit of worsted, but I thought that I would maybe in the future do a corner one color, and then part of the stripe down the side a different color. I do want to plan it somewhat, do a little bit of yarn management. I don't want to just knit till I run out of yarn, because I don't know. I like the messy look, but I want a little more controlled messy look. I can't, my OCD brain cannot just do whatever. I have to have some kind of little bit of design or plan in there, even if it's just, you know, if I don't, once it gets to the really big edges, maybe just knit 10 rows and have a square or something. But there has to be some kind of rhyme to it, rhyme and reason to it, not just random. I can't do too random. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be a nice, eventually project just to use leftovers. I like the idea of using leftovers. I like the idea of mini skeins. I've knit some little stuffy, softy projects before, and I have dyed little bits and bobs to use for those. But so yeah, I like the idea of mini skeins, even though I've not ever purchased any. But maybe I'll, I'm getting ready to go a different direction in my dyeing. I've kind of just been randomly, oh, let's see what this will do, and this looks fun, and let's try this, and I like these colors. And so I've been playing, and that's what a new dyer is supposed to do, I feel like, is play around and see what all you can do and what you like and what you don't like. And so that's what I've been doing, but I want more of a plan for the first of the year. I want to kind of be more of a business than a hobby. And so I'm really going to make some plans and do a big launch probably after the first of the year, when I can really get organized and get going again. And so keep a watch out. I'll have some cool stuff coming up. Let's see. Needle organization. Thank you guys so much for coming and chatting with us on Ravelry about your needle organization. We had a few on there chatting, and there was a couple here lately that I've seen that they've got like 2 posts, and so I felt really honored that you guys would, either come out of lurker status, or maybe you're new, but whatever the reason is you're joining us and you're new, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I thank you guys again for chatting. I love to talk needles. I love to chat anyway on Ravelry, and so I may not get to you for like immediately, but I really love to see your posts and comments on there, and I try to answer everyone. And I know Tara also keeps up with that pretty well too. So come chat with us. Come tell us what you're working on, or something if you have any questions for us or something you'd like to see. We're more than willing to accommodate you and chat with you guys. But Tara and I had talked about waiting to do this, but I didn't want to run too short on you guys, so I thought I'd go ahead and talk about mine. And plus, I was so anxious. Everybody's been talking about theirs, and I didn't want to wait another couple weeks to do it. Plus, Tara will have hers, and so we'll just keep it an ongoing conversation. Maybe after I show mine, you guys can comment some more, or maybe have some different ideas of stuff I can do, because yeah, mine's just kind of needs some help. I have changed it up here recently. I did have it in a 31 bag. Those it's kind of a flat zipper bag about that tall, and it was open, and it fell over a lot, and stuff spilled out of it a lot. And so recently, again, like I had said, my mom had passed on her stuff to me, not only her yarn stash, but her needles and needle storage. And so I ended up with this box. This is not the box that she kept her needles in. She had like yarn or patterns or something in it. But I ended up with this box, and this is her needle case, and I took it over. She had the Knit Picks wooden ones. I don't like wooden needles. I like the slickness of a metal needle. But a lot of times I've got some double points. A lot of times, starting out, it wasn't important to me, and I would buy just whatever at the time. And now I wish I would have made the effort to get what I really wanted at the time, instead of just settling for whatever was quick. And sometimes I was just so antsy to start a project, I didn't want to wait and order needles. And Carriage House, she carried some chagoos. I did not like the chagoos that have the bend on the end of the needle. That I can't stand that. So I wouldn't buy those from her. And she, at the time, this was like at least a year or two ago, you know, over time, she didn't have any of the red lace ones. And so all she really carried besides those was knit picks. And I liked them at the time, but I'm ready to move on from them. And I never bought a whole set of needles. At the time, it's like, you know, that's a lot of money at one time, and I just really didn't have it. And so I would just go and buy a needle as I needed it for a project. And that worked for a while. But now I'm at the point where I can't afford a set, and I'm ready for some nicer needles, and I'm getting some for Christmas. I literally accidentally ordered some the other day. I mean, it was a total accident because Noble Knits had a sale for Cyber Monday. It was like 20% off everything. But you know those sales, it's like, oh, excluding blah blah blah, and I thought for sure they would exclude their needles. I thought surely they don't have needle sets at 20% off, you know. So I'll go in there and I'm trying to put that in to see what it would come up to, what the end thing would be. And I thought for sure that it would say order is not placed until you confirm. I thought I had one more confirm screen. I didn't. But the bad part was the sale didn't even go through. But Noble Knits was awesome. I think I might have called and left a message, but I emailed them too, and they got back to me both ways. They called me and sent me an email saying that they wasn't sure why the sale coupon code didn't go through, but that they would credit my account back the difference, and it was like 15 bucks. And so I'm really sad that I wasn't able to support a local yarn shop by purchasing the needles there. But I did look at one of our shops, and they had, what I ended up with was Hiya Sharps. And I was looking more at the Chigo red lace. Sorry, I should keep that. But the lady at the local shop said, oh look, the joins turn, so you have less of a chance of your needle coming unscrewed while you're knitting with it, because where the needle and the cable meet, it will swivel. And they looked like, you know, I saw them in the store. They looked really nice, and so I looked at them online, and they were, even not on sale, it was $20 less than what she had them for in the shop. No, let's see. It was $10 less. It was $10 less than what she had them listed for in the shop. And then with that discount, I got them for $25 less than what she had them listed for in the shop. And so I just couldn't. I'm frugal. I couldn't do it. So sorry, local shop, that I didn't do that. But so they're under my tree. I will show you guys those at a later date. I'm trying to be good and put them up for Christmas. So I have some crochet hooks. I have bought a couple over time, but a lot of these are from my grandmother who used to crochet. It breaks my heart that she doesn't anymore, because I would love to have her needlecraft with me now, but she just has no interest. She used to make a lot of Afghans. I don't know that she really made anything else besides Afghans, but yeah, she doesn't anymore, and so I'm so sad. But I took her stash. So in this box, I also have some needles in baggies, and I punched holes and looped these together, but I did label them the sizes, and these are like the wooden ones that I don't really want to use. A lot of these are for like hats and stuff where they're small circumference fixed circulars, and so yeah, or the ones that just needles I don't like, but most of these are fixed circulars and they're wooden, so these are not going to be my go-to needles if at all possible. If I can even go buy them, a needle, I would not, I'd do that before I'd use these. I just hate wooden ones. So I leave these in the box, and I usually keep this box downstairs. I had been leaving my other needles downstairs too, but where I've did so many new projects lately, I've been keeping them in a basket by the couch. So here is my needle storage right now. It's just the baggies. I've got it on one of these loops. I have a little carabiner with, I have this little crochet hook thing for mistakes, and I have one of the little needle keys for your interchangeables on there, because I never can find those stupid things. But what I did was I've put the packaging of some of my needles in there. I've labeled them. If they're a brand that I know, I'll usually put the brand on there. If they're circulars, I'll put how big they are. And so that's what I'm doing. And so that way I know what I have. I know, because I did have a list, but I don't know, I just like seeing them better. I know what I have. I know what's missing. If there's an empty thing, say, oh, I have this needle, I've seen it recently, but it's on a project. And so that way I kind of know what's what. I can go looking for it, or be like, oh yeah, I know what I've got on that. And I kind of just put my interchangeables, these are some Knit Picks ones, and circulars all together. I think I put my DPNs at the ends, and just put those in there at the ends. Some of them I did leave, like these collage ones. I need to put them back in their package because they'll poke a hole up that bag now. So yeah, and then at the end I've got some cables and some notions and whatnot in there. And I got some extra bags on the end because I don't think I bagged all my needles when I did this. I think there's some more I'm going to find when I go to put them away. They won't have a bag. So yeah, you guys had some good suggestions, or I loved hearing what you were doing. They had, I think it was, one lady had a link to a bag that she had bought, and it was really neat. It kind of looked like the Knit Picks case, except it was fabric, and it had all of the little, it had sewn spots for each all the way around the interior of the bag, and then in the center of the bag it had like a little zipper pouch. And so you could put, not only, you could put in between that zipper pouch and your needles, you could put the cables, and then put other things in that zipper pouch, or you could have all your cables in the pouch, but the whole thing zipped up, and it was a really nice bag. I could probably make something like that. I've not made the bags with the divided, I've seen them do that with sock bags where they divide it in the middle, so that, if you want to split your cakes and do 2 at a time, or do color work 2 at a time, then you've got those spots and then something in the middle, usually a zipper pouch or something. I've not tried that. That seems a little intimidating. It seems like it might be hard to manage all that fabric, but if you have a pattern, you can probably do anything. It'll walk you through it and tell you how to do it. And I love patterns and tutorials, and thank you all those awesome people out there for sharing, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel and come up with this junk all on my own, even though I'm bad to attempt that sometimes. I do like to watch tutorials and learn that way. So I also have stuff in one of these little, I guess it's probably from Knit Picks or something. I think I got it at a local shop, and it has some scissors, and I recently got one of these Knit Picks ones. It's better than those metal ones that I had. I have this I got from a local shop. It's a little notions case, and it has little compartments, and so I used to use that some. I got a cup. I got like 3 measuring tapes that I usually will stick these in a bag if I need it, since I have so many. I'd like to have scissors enough for just about every bag, or at least 3 or 4 projects. I have 2 little pair of scissors, and I'm always looking for them. That's a problem. Oh, this was neat. This is a little chart for your needles. And this is on the back of Unplanned Peacock's card. I got some yarn that I'll show you after Christmas. This is really it was special, and I had to justify it by putting it in the tree because I was like, oh, yeah, it's the softest of soft. So, and I got me some new, so yeah. What do you guys do for your needle storage? If you haven't shared with us yet, please go on and do, because Tara's is still coming up and she may need some ideas. I know I need some ideas. One lady talked about, and I'm so sorry that I didn't write down names for who said what, because I didn't, and I'm sorry. But one had talked about she had went at the school sale shopping after school, you know, when the after school started, at the sales when they were doing all the clearance items for what didn't sell, and got the little pencil pouches that have the windows and stuff, but the zippers, but they have the grommets. And so she did this, but with zipper pouches, and put them in a binder. And I thought that was a neat idea, but with all that extra fabric and stuff, that would, you know, how thick would that make your binder? Because I mean, I have a lot of needles sitting here, and which I didn't realize, you know, you don't realize until you get to organize them. Like, dang, you've got a lot of needles, are you sure you need a set or anything? But yeah, I totally did. I didn't need another set, you know. Hey, can't have too many needles because, you know, might have them on other projects. I didn't have a size 8 the other day. I could not find an 8. That was not good. You need like 4 8s or something, yeah. So yeah. Or do you guys have a bunch of needles like this? Do you have sets, or do you have like just individual needles? Do you buy them as you need them, or how did you end up with your needles? I mean, did you start knitting and just go get a set? My mom did that. So what did you do? How did you get your needles? Chat with us. Okay, last thing that I have that has anything to do with knitting is a giveaway. We are giving away this yarn. Very beautiful gradients, it looks like. It's Mode Knit yarn, and this is Mode Sock at 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon, and it is 100 grams at 382 yards. So this is probably maybe a sport to a fingering, something like that. And the colorway is Lazurite Flow. I think that's how you pronounce that. But this is really pretty yarn. And what our prompt was for you to discuss your needle storage with us. And so on the last episode 9's list on Ravelry, the thread. And what I did was I went down through there because we had chatted some, and so each person only got 1 entry, and as long as you mention your needle storage, I put your name in the pots, and there were only 8 entries. So I did a random number generator, and I went ahead and did this before. Usually we do it live, but I went ahead and did this before so that I wasn't fumbling around by myself. Usually we have each other to say, here, you do this, or talk about this, while I go over here and do this. But since I was by myself, I went ahead and did it beforehand. And number 2 was the random number, and that was Carrie 22. Carrie Pickle, hi Carrie. You want some yarn? So I know you're moving soon. Let me know what address you'd like this sent to, or if you want me to wait until after you get settled in your new place to send it, that's fine too. But let me know and we will send this out to you. So the last thing that I have to talk about is Christmas. Are you guys ready for Christmas? I'm ready for Christmas. I have shopped unusually early this year. My husband had been working some overtime. We knew it was going to end any minute, and so I went ahead and shopped early. But also, there was sales. There was like sales and pre-orders, and if you pre-order this, then you get extra stuff. And so before I knew it, I was done shopping. And I've had a really good time shopping. My family gives me money for my children. I have 2 boys, 9 and 11, and they're like, here, go buy them stuff and put our name on it. And that works for me. It just makes me feel like that no matter how much, you know, or little we end up spending on them, that I still have a big part in their Christmas, and I make sure they get some pretty awesome stuff, you know, because I'm cool like that. And so I have everything wrapped and under the tree. I pushed myself to wrap it because I didn't really have, I had a lot of stuff, you know, because everybody gave me money and I didn't have sorry, I didn't have a good hiding place. We hid some stuff in the top of our closet, which was really good because it was way up there, and you'd have to get a chair, and the chair wouldn't go around our dresser, and so it was a good place to hide, but there wasn't enough room up there. And so the majority of the stuff was downstairs in a closet under the stairs. And I did put it way back in the back, and there's no light back there, and it's, you know, so, but they eventually knew that I was hiding stuff there. So I was like, temptation, I don't want to tempt them too much. So I went ahead and wrapped everything, and I have it under the tree. And our tradition, did you guys go Black Friday shopping? Because totally did on Thursday. I was one of me and my husband, thankfully he'll go with me and be my partner in crime. He didn't really want to, but he had fun. He was glad he went. So we went to Walmart and got in that craziness, and we got like 16 movies. 16! I budgeted for it, but still I was like, oh, that's a lot of movies. But we don't have cable. We have Netflix and Hulu, and leading up to Christmas, you're like bored to tears. There's nothing on TV, and half the time there's nothing for the kids anyway. So our tradition is to open a movie the weekend that, you know, after we put up the tree, we open a movie, and we put up the tree the weekend after Thanksgiving, either Friday or Saturday or whatever. And so we got our tree put up, and I wrapped movies, and we opened one, and we've just been opening movies randomly, you know, ever since. That stuff that we'll open up until Christmas. And this year I also got some board games. We've opened the Life game, which the kids loved, and we opened Settlers of Catan, which me and my husband liked, and we thought the kids would like, but I think my older one would be okay, but they were not too into it. But they'd had a busy weekend and were kind of tired anyway, so we might see if they'll want to try again. And we've got some really cool puzzles. We got one that's a Disney villains. That was neat. And that'll be a nice kind of family time together. And we got them a Batman puzzle that was just a collage of Batman things inside the shape of a bat. Oh yeah, that was awesome. So they'll probably hang that in their room after we get it worked. We'll put some glue on that and hang it up. That'll be neat. But what are your guys' Christmas traditions? Do you have your shopping done? Do you wait till last minute? Do you have kids that you have to wrap and hide it from? What's some little things that you like to do up till Christmas? We have every year we have the big Bristol Motor Speedway nearby, and they do speedway and lights. And every year say, oh yeah, we'll go, we'll go. By the time it rolls around, we've spent all our money, and we don't really have the money to go. And plus, I'm like, you know, I'm sure that there's a fee to get in. It's not so bad, but once you get in there, I mean, there's like other stuff. There's like, you know, I'm sure food and activities and tons of stuff to spend money on. And I know that I'll want to like do all that stuff for my kids. So I probably wouldn't go unless I had a pretty good amount set aside to do it. And plus mine are older, and then it's hard telling what they'll really get into. So, but another tradition that we have is we buy an ornament for each of the kids for whatever they're into. And this year we have Doctor Who for my oldest one. It glitters a little bit too, because, you know, that's pretty cool. And I'm going to make an ornament for my younger one. He is into Minecraft. And my sister got her son an ornament from Etsy that was Minecraft. And if I don't get around to doing this one soon, I may just go online and order it too. But I bought the little minifigures, and I'm going to figure out a way to hang those up. And we totally did that before with those little wrestling minifigures because they were into wrestling. So yeah, I'm sure I can figure this out too. And each year, my husband and I buy a little lovey-dovey ornament. If I can get this out without destroying anything. And this was ours this year. They had this adorable little thing set up in the mall where they were writing your names on them and the year and all that. So that was ours. I love snowmen. So what do you guys got going on? Do you decorate your tree all in one color? Do you have a crazy tree like we do that has anything from wrestlers to Doctor Who to train tracks? I've got a little Christmassy train on here, and we have a Mod Podge of everything on this tree, but I love it. It's kind of full this year. There was some ornaments that just didn't make the cut, and we just put back in the box, and I kind of love that. So one day I will quit being lazy and we'll have some little mini trees. Do you guys do mini trees? I kind of wanted like I would love to have a little pink tree downstairs in my workspace. I will not lie. That would be like super cute, but I'm so lazy I don't want to fool with it. And eventually maybe, you know, me and my husband will have our own, but we'll probably keep everything all on one tree. But what do you guys do? I want to hear about your Christmas traditions, so come chat with us, and I will quit yakking at you and say goodbye, and we will record again probably in 2 weeks. We'll try to keep on schedule, and you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you later. Bye.